Hello. 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 And welcome to Cinnamon Leaf ASMR and Baldur's Gate 3. You may have noticed that the Friday episode got replaced by some Dorfromantik. It was because I couldn't speak softly. I could only whisper because my throat was damaged. So I was sick. If I still sound a little sick, I'm very sorry. I hope it's doable. But I really wanted to get back to playing Baldur's Gate. I remember now, last time when we were here, we saw that Karlak is she's the only one that's leveling, and we are literally 19 points away from leveling as well. And so we went in here, but then realized that didn't give us any XP. We will still go here and walk around a little this episode because we have time now. So let's go loot everything. There's boots in there, or shoes, casual sandals, and a hat, and a candle to light. And then this, I wonder if that's the one we already read. It's the one we haven't read. So it's an interview with the person who wrote the Pleasurable Deal. If you recall, that's the really raunchy play that we found on top of a building recently and also somewhere else. So this is an interview with the writer. Below is a transcript of an interview with the writer and director of A Pleasurable Deal, Mr. Kingsley Harp. What was the inspiration behind this, if I may be so bold, entirely lewd piece of drama? It's about exploring the taboo, seeing who we as people really are. Yes, Robert makes a deal with a champion, but who wouldn't? Well, I like to think most people wouldn't. Then you don't know most people. Everyone wants something. Everyone needs something. Champions can see it. In a way, they know us better than we know ourselves. But at the end of the play, Robert dies horribly. What does that say about what we, as you put it, need? You forget. Robert dies because he broke away from Carlisle. He didn't stay true to the deal they made. So you are encouraging people to make a pact with Hell's offspring, to give up, as Robert did, his soul? We only have one life. Why not make the most of it? So, what was your deal? I beg your pardon? In fact, this was your directorial debut, wasn't it? You couldn't even get published in the tabloid Baldur's Bash before this play came out. Did you honestly trade your soul for an erotic play? Alright, we're done here. I love this implication. That he, as an author, got so desperate to be published that he sold his soul for this play to be popular. I think that's so funny. Let's light some lights so we can see. As a reminder, I press take all sometimes on empty chests because it's easier to hit the take all button than to find the X. And it closes with the take all button as well. Okay. I think those are all empty bottles, but there is a candle. And an open crate. Ooh, some stuff. I love stuff. Let's get down here. And let's see. Some weapons. Sorry, that was my throat. I guess we could also climb on top of here. Sometimes I wonder, because some of these sets are so complicated. I wonder why, almost. Because there's not much that happens in this room. There is more, don't worry, but there's not like a fight. Or maybe that's better for multiplayer if you do like PvP. But I don't know. These obviously are very interestingly placed to perhaps go up here maybe. we can do that in a moment. I would first go in here. Oh, and we're encumbered. Well, once again, let's go by weight. Oh, hammers are really heavy. I did not know that. Let's go to Karlak. We're already fine again, but let's maybe... What was in this pouch? Oh, that's our keepsakes. I didn't realize they're so heavy. Let's give her the tongs. And then I think that's alright. Yes, we can. There. The Approachable East, Volume 6. Have we read that? I don't think so. Have we? If we have, I'm sorry. I must say, for a place with so many orcs and goblins, Thirsk is a remarkably pleasant land. A true melting pot where all are accepted, and quite a lot seems to be permitted. Alas, the crew I sailed here with were imprisoned by the harbour master, but I was soon on the road known as the Golden Way, and it lives up to its name. The wealth of a continent marches along this road. Furs from Neverwinter and iron from Nashkel flow in one direction, while silks and jewels flow the other. I've heard so many stories of the world. The Golden Way passes through Rashomon, through the wastes of the Horde lands, and onto the continent of Karator, a land of empires, dragons, and beasts I've never dreamt of. I'm so close to Rashomon, but what was once my dream now sounds so mundane. Last night I made camp and was joined by a charming fellow. I told him my dream of seeing Rashomon, and he laughed. He claims that Rashomon is nothing compared to Thay, and invited me to visit the court of the Zulkias. It seemed rude to turn down such an illustrious invitation, so I will see what this Thay has to offer. Then Rashomon, and beyond. Well, as we heard, maybe Thay is not the place to be, but who knows? Who knows? Okay, there's some silverware. Or the tinware, I guess. Let's take those, take everything.
Step carefully.
Oh. Okay. Then let's disarm that. Well, we're doing well. And even that will be enough. That's what's so satisfying about Astarion. Okay.
At least things have stayed interesting.
Something was weird about the way we walked there. Let's hope that's fine. What did we get? We got Highcliff's blueprints. Precise arcs and neatly drawn lines form the blueprints of 3 weapons, a greatsword, a sickle, and a dagger. Each length and angle is marked with exact measurements, and forging instructions are printed carefully along the bottom of the page, emphasizing an unusual ingredient, susur bark. The susur bark can only be applied to an ordinary, unmodified blade. And now everyone's leveled, because we got XP for that.
There's only one place I'm finding the Susa tree. The Underdark.
Well, and I so look forward to that. I really do love the Underdark. It's my favorite place in the game. But let's check this out. If you don't disarm this chest, it breaks this ladder, which is really annoying. We're once again encumbered. So it's good that we made that check. Oh well, that is not enough. But we should have, yes, we have 17 thieves' tools. We can redo that. And that is enough. Perfect. Perfect.
Let's get going.
Now what's in there? Nice. Some infernal iron, a blacksmith's note, and a steel-forged sword, which we will look at in a second.
Infernal metal! This can help dam and patch up my engine.
Exactly. Very good. So, lots of important finds there. So much in our inventory. Let's look at the blacksmith's note. Specimen metal, hardness 9.5, very hard, melting point unknown, color silver, markings red lacerations flecked with yellow dust, source underdark. Notes gift from redacted, faintly sulfuric odor, forging unsuccessful, will not melt or warp at standard temperature. That makes sense. And now the steel forged sword is a +1 sword. I think otherwise it doesn't do much. But it's cool. We can give it to a star. I just put it on Gale. I'm so sorry, darling. That is not for you, my love. You could have it. Why not? There you are. I think these look really cool on him. And they do more damage. So, that's great. Now, as we stand up here in this forge, let's get to leveling. I did not at all prepare for this, so we'll see how long this takes. It's probably going to be the entire episode, but let's level. Let's see if I know enough. I think there's something broken with our character. I think this stance is a little weird with the hands. I think it's something about the way she got off of the box, but whatever. I'm sure it's fine. Okay. So we got some spell slots, a cantrip, an action. Interesting. Wild shape deep rothe. Assume the shape of a deep rothe that casts dancing lights and charges its enemies. The deep rothe has a starting health of 23 hit points that increases every 2 druid levels. That is really cool. And we got a new feat. Oh, feats. Should have prepared for this. Maybe I'll have to Google a little. Okay, some cantrips we can select. Produce flame is cool. Resistance is cool, I guess. Shillelagh is cool. I think I like produce flame. A flame in your hand sheds a light in a 9-meter radius and deals 1 to 8 fire damage when thrown. Just because we are a Circle of the Stars druid, I think that works for us. And we can prepare spells. Right, and I think we only just got level 2 spells. That's really cool. It pre-selected Lesser Restoration and Hold Person for us. I actually very rarely use Lesser Restoration, and because the uses are so specific for the story, because obviously curing someone from disease, poison, paralysis, or blindness is practical, and in battle too, I rarely do it. So, it's so specific instance. It's such specific instances in this game that I usually just like quickly select it and then do it and then unselect it again, and if that time comes. And it also selected Hold Person for us, which is really cool. We don't really fight many people in the beginning of this game. It's mostly creatures. But like, this only works for humanoid enemies. It's still really good. Other options that we have are Dark Vision, Heat Metal, Enhance Ability, Spike Growth, Bark Skin, Moonbeam, Gust of Wind, Flame Blade, Flaming Sphere, Pass Without Trace, Protection from Poison. I really like Moonbeam. It is concentration. I think that's fine for us, because I don't think our shape, wild shape, is concentration. If it is, this would be complicated, but I think this is fine. Also, it fits the Circle of the Stars thing again. And then a feat. Now, a feat that is always, generally as an introduction to this game, and D&D in general, feats are like special, like boosts that you select for a character. We get, I think, 3. Is it 3 in this game or 4? I think it's 3. Sorry if that was not a good noise. ability improvement is very much always good. Like this, for example, or just what, like these abilities give us a bonus depending on the even numbered steps. So if we do this, it's the same as if it's like this. But as there's one still missing, we could, I guess, like put it in intelligence simply because we have one left over, and there are many items that like improve your wisdom or improve something else. But I'm not sure if that's what we want at this point. It's something that's very basically always good, but there's like so many different ones, and I'm never sure like what would be good. I think for druids, warcaster is good. You gain advantage on saving throws to maintain concentration on a spell, and you can use a reaction to cast Shocking Grasp at a target moving out of melee range. So instead of an opportunity attack where you can just stab them, you get a spell opportunity attack essentially. And then Spell Sniper is cool. You learn a cantrip, and the number you need to roll a critical hit with a spell is reduced by 1. And this effect can stack, which is really cool. We've been playing her relatively, or there haven't been many fights, but it's been mostly like attacks. I don't know, not very spell based, but she could be spell based, so I don't know. And then there's like many different ones. Proficiency, I don't know if I need that. I guess because we do have like some issues with being armored, I think we can't take like much armor. How much can we? Because I think, yeah, Oh, it's not I always thought it was a stack of, like, you need the medium armor to be heavily armored. Oh, wait, actually. I'm unsure about that. I don't think we need huge armor, because we're a druid. They're usually, like, more light, and, like, we can wild shape, which gives us additional life anyway. These are also cool because you can basically, like, soft multi-class. You just get, like, additional magic from these different classes. Durable is great. But I don't know. I'm almost wondering if we do Warcaster or just ability improvement. Alert is always good too. You gain a +5 bonus to initiative and can't be surprised. That is pretty crazy because +5 bonus to initiative means you almost always go first. But I don't think that's the character we play, you know. I guess dual wielder would be cool. None of these are very druid focused though. Druids are kind of hard with these feats to establish. I think Warcaster is pretty much safe, and I don't think we need the ability improvement right now. I think it's cooler to see if we can get some items later to improve our stuff, and I think Warcaster is cool. Yep. We'll take that. And then Astarion, our boy. See, this is cool now. I have not seen these because these are subclass specific. They look very pretty. Dirty Trick, Flick of the Wrist. Flick your weapon at a target and possibly disarm them. That's cute. Dirty Trick, Vicious Mockery. Insult a creature. This is a bard spell, theoretically. It's a cantrip, cool. Dirty Trick, Sand Toss. Toss a handful of sand at your enemy and possibly blind them. That is very cool. It's an action, sadly, but it is cool. And I saw this one in, like, ads, trailers they were doing for these classes, and that's the one that got me excited. I think this is so petty to just toss sand at them. I think that's so funny. And there's a new feat. Now, my guy, What is cool is dual wielder for him. But for him, alert is really good. What's also great is mobile, which is your movement speed increases and difficult terrain doesn't slow you down when you dash. If you move after making a melee attack, you don't provoke opportunity attacks from your target. So that's really cool because we can play him melee and then, this is very helpful. Sharpshooter is also really cool if we play him not as much on melee, which means that your ranged weapon attacks do not receive penalties from high ground rules, and ranged weapon attacks with weapons you are proficient with have a -5 penalty to their attack roll, but deal an additional 10 damage, and you can choose whether you want that, so you can toggle it on or off. Really, really cool. It gives you insane amounts of damage, especially if you can attack like several times. I very much like mobile and sharpshooter. Obviously we can also go ability improvement. I think if we're going more piratey, we could go mobile, because it just kind of fits this like flighty, jumpy, I think we'll go mobile. And the speed is increased. That's also really cool. I love playing him as a speedster. Very roguey. Yeah, let's go mobile. I love mobile. Now, our wizard, always way more complicated. Maybe we can also like this. Look at his lovely bracers. I really think they look cool. Okay, so we gained a bunch of stuff. A cantrip we can select. You already know this spell. This spell is a different version of one you already know. You will have access to both. That's kind of weird. Why is that? Why do we know it? What? That's weird. There's Toll the Dead, which I don't know because it's new with a necromancy thing. Which do we like? What is that one? Bursting Sinew. Ew. Okay. Ew, no. Sorry, I'm so squeamish with this kind of stuff. Booming Blade. That is actually cool because we are playing him as a blade singer, so strike with your weapon, afflicting your foe with a resonance that hurts them for 1 to 8 thunder damage when they move. That's kind of fun. That is fun. Why not pick that one? With him I rarely use cantrips anyway. And then spells. What do we like? For my brother, I'm not going to pick Scorching Ray. Or maybe I will, but he has a huge hatred for this spell. That mostly came out of us selecting it in a playthrough and then never hitting with it, which is it's because you do 3 rays of fire, so you have more opportunities to not hit, and it gets very apparent that you don't hit. I do like invisibility, but I think, which is kind of stupid, I don't know if that's a hot take, but greater invisibility is kind of the only one that's worth it, because invisibility stops if, as you can see here, ends early if the creature attacks or casts a spell, so I don't know, becomes kind of useless. So yeah, I don't know, unsure about this one. Blur is fun. See, invisibility is also more important in this game than you think, but there is a potion for it, or an elixir. Is it a potion? I think it's a potion. So that's something you can give yourself without having to use a spell slot. Technically, I guess magic weapon would be cool because we're gonna use our weapon. Although I don't know if this helps or how this interacts with our weapons, so I'm not sure about that one. Also, once again, many of these we can find as scrolls and he can learn them. So maybe the ones that we won't find as scrolls are a good choice. Once again, I don't know how these blade things interact with our blade singer style. You know what? Am I gonna do Scorching Ray? What am I interested in? I do think Scorching Ray is pretty cool. Let me actually check what other spells we have right now. Did we just now get level 2 spells? Because if that's the case, I think it is, then it's smart that it's selected Misty Step for us. Or if it's known, then we can't have just gotten them. So Misty Step is a great spell. It's the only bonus action you're ever gonna get. Wizards are interesting that way. Why do we know Bone Shell? I don't quite know. Like, this is here because we apparently know it, but it's weirdly like just here, and there's also a cantrip, so I'm not sure why it's here. Or did we select it? I don't think we did. Oh well, I don't quite know what this means. You know what, for the meme, I'm gonna pick Scorching Ray. And then I'm probably not gonna select it actually. Yeah, I think I'm still gonna stick with the spells we selected. And for him, we have a feat as well, and for him I always pick the same feat, which is maybe an odd choice, but I always go for Tough first, which is your hit point maximum increases by 2 for every level you have gained, which is actually really good. It gives you this hit point increase, which means that he just has more hit points way later in the game. I always pick that one. I think it's well worth it because he's squishy as hell, and that's the point of wizards, that they're very, very squishy and die at any moment. But I think it's good to take care of him, and Tough takes care of the problem a little bit. I know 2 sounds like nothing, but if you think about it, by the end of the game it's about 20, and that does make a difference. So let's go with Tough. And Karlach, last but not least, never least. She's very easy to level up. So we only have a feat available as a choice, my girl. And for her, because we are going, like, a very popular one is Savage Attacker. When making melee weapon attacks, you roll your damage dice twice and use the highest result, which means you basically have advantage on how much damage you do to people, so that's really great. But because we are going with her as a thrower in attacking, I love Tavern Brawler. When you make an unarmed attack, use an improvised weapon, or throw something, your strength modifier is added to the damage and attack rolls an additional time. I believe that's not something we already have with our rage, but even if it is, it's an additional time. It's not like twice, so that would be really cool. And we get 1 ability point with that, which it doesn't say here, which is interesting. So we can give her strength or constitution. In this case, both would be good because they're both at uneven numbers, so this does make a difference. I'll go with strength. I think constitution has something to do with hit points. Doesn't need to be that complicated for us, I think. So, I think with that, we are severely improved. I'm wondering now whether I should make a longer episode to make up for the fact that we didn't get one once this week. Or if I should just stick with, like, this room, maybe. I think so, because I don't want to over stress my voice. So yeah, I'm gonna just check out this room. But we are encumbered. So let's put some stuff on Karlach, because she's our carrier. Nice. It would be smart. Ooh.
What's that over there?
Oh hey, there's a wall. It would be smart to do this exploring with someone else, but I like walking around with our characters. So a sickle. Sickles are a really cool weapon, actually. They have like something druidic about them. But I always feel like they're so short. I don't know if I would want to use a sickle in a fight. And there's short swords. Theoretically, I guess it would be smart to keep these weapons here because then we can just use them. Fun. That looks very pretty. And here we can, as our journal tells us, finish the masterwork weapon, and we would need a Susur tree. This is about the infernal iron, yes. But we can do that next. As we saw, there's a way up here, and there's this cracked wall that's very interesting. I think we can do that next episode. Let me just turn around so our character can look. Okay, everyone's looking somewhere random. Starian has put himself in timeout. But yeah, maybe we can keep it at this for now so as to be nice to my voice. I hope it was still an okay episode. We just looked at some rooms and leveled, but I think that's always going to take a while. Next time we're going to see where we can go down here. So I hope you enjoyed that. And I also hope that whatever you do next, it goes super, 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 super well. And if that is sleeping, sleep well. Sweet dreams. And good night.